Hey guys, welcome to Trashy Stupid Fun. Today I decided to, well, for this episode, I decided to revisit two awful, awful movies from my childhood. And I chose two really bad ones this time around. I'm going to pick something way lighter next time. Something I at least like, sort of, or that I think I would still like today. Because I chose the Garbage Pail Kids movie and Mac and Me for my first venture into childhood movies that I know I would never like again. I watch them now and like what? Oh, because okay, first of all, the Garbage Pail Kids movie, kid befriends Garbage Pail Kids, and wackiness ensues basically. And the Garbage Pail Kids were based off of a card collecting thing, or card collecting. They were like baseball cards, but for weird kids who liked weird, gross stuff. And that was me. I loved them. And I mean, to look at them now, I still think they're kind of awesome. But this movie was awful. It's like, who decided this would be a good movie? Because first of all, the Garbage Pail Kids themselves are really disturbing looking. They're little people in these creepy costumes with chubby fingers and big fat heads, and just like, ugh. Oh, God, that tickled. And it was just awful. Awful, awful, awful. And it's like, why did I watch this? Because, frankly, I don't remember a lot of the plots, which barely, barely, barely count as plots. But, yeah, all I remember, before going into it, is that it was about, one of them they had a barfing girl who barfed up slime, and a kid that pissed himself, and, yeah, I remember that stuff very very clearly. And let me describe all of them. Let me see. There's one with a snot nose who gets snot everywhere. There's one that barfs slime. There's one that pisses himself and he has a pimply face. There's one that farts a lot. There's one that has bad breath. And then you have a greaser kid for no reason. And then you have an alligator named Alligator. It's like, oh, that's really clever. I don't know if they got the names from the cards exactly. I remember I used to have some, and there was one that had there was one called Adam Bomb. And he had I think he was like I think he had a big old diaper or something where his head exploded or something. It's those cards were really fun, but really gross. I think I grossed my mom out with that stuff, and I think that was why I liked it. Because I still kind of like doing that. Because she'll just shake her head when I watch stuff like that. Or at least when I'm out in the living room, but yeah. Let's see. What else to say about this movie? It's just, it's all over the place. They're trying to, some of it, they were trying to make a commentary about how, people of the 80s are superficial and, into their looks. So much so that they had to have a place for ugly people. And that's where the Garbage Pail Kids thought that their friends were at, but it turns out they weren't. I don't know. I don't know how much of this all spoiled, but it's like, and then they had the subplot of Mackenzie Aston, who finds the Garbage Pail Kids, that he was into this girl, and she's into fashion, so he gets them to make clothes for him, and it's very, I don't know. And then she finds out about them, and she exploits them for her own gain, too, and she kind of exploits him in the process, and it's very bizarre. Oh, and her name is Tangerine, and his name is Dodger, and everybody has funny names in this movie. I just thought it was funny that her name is Tangerine. They don't say her real name, just Tangerine. Oh, brother. This movie, ugh. And yes, I watched it all the way through, painfully. Oh, it was so... Oh, and it really creeped me out when they started singing. Something about, I don't know, it was just a work together song. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I think a Cabbage Patch Kid movie would have been less creepy. Even though, oh god, I think I saw one of those too. Oof. That might have been, I don't know if that was, I can't remember. But I vaguely remember a Cabbage Patch movie. But I think the Garbage Pail Kids movie was creepier. Oh, so anyways, on to Mac and Me, which is basically a huge, huge ripoff of E.T. Kid meets an alien, befriends it, and has to get him back to his family. Only the aliens are just, where E.T. was squat and pudgy, Mac and his family are very skinny and tall, and yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyways, basically, this kid named Eric, who's in a wheelchair, meets these aliens, and wackiness ensues, basically. But the whole movie is just a blatant excuse for product placement. It's been said many times. This is, McDonald's the movie, or McDonald's and Coke. It's just a big advertisement for Coke, Skittles, and McDonald's. And it gets really bad when Mac, who's in a bear suit, dances around in McDonald's. And it's just, oh. I mean, it didn't seem as bad when I was watching it as a kid, because I would watch this movie a lot. Also, I would also at the time, I would affectionately call him E.T.'s cousin, which, I don't know if that's an insult to E.T. or what. So I love E.T. I can't watch that a lot, but because it's emotionally draining. But this movie's not as emotionally draining. It didn't make me cry, but yeah. As a kid, it did. I remember it. I remember tearing up a little bit as a kid, but right now it's like no, I don't feel anything for Mac and his family or that little boy, but whatever. But yeah, this movie is it's just crazy. Also, not to spoil it too much, but you gotta wonder with these aliens, because they were able to bring this kid back to life, but they couldn't fix his legs. He's kind of still stuck in that wheelchair. So, I don't know. I think many people have wondered that for years, because these aliens can bring somebody dead back to life, but they can't cure, this poor boy's crippled legs. Ooh. I don't know. It's just something silly. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a movie, and I don't know. I'm just silly. But yeah, next time I'm going to pick movies that aren't so painful to watch, or rewatch in this case. I don't remember how many times I actually watched the Garbage Pail Kids movie. Just that I remember watching it maybe a few times on TV. And I think I just liked it for the gross stuff, because I do not remember the rest of the plot until I saw it. I was like, oh, this is what the movie was about? Because, I don't remember any of that. I almost wanted to add it to my list of new movies to me, but it's like, no. Because I've seen enough of it that I probably shouldn't count it. So I didn't. And watching Mac and Me, I don't know. That one, I gotta say, that one wasn't nearly as painful to rewatch. And, oh god, it had me laughing a little bit here and there, because it's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie. Because, yeah. Because in the end, they wind up getting, citizenship in America, in the U.S. It's like, what? Because first of all, I'd like to know how they passed the written part, because they didn't seem to know how to talk or read or write. So I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that worked. They just, in the end, they became U.S. citizens, and that was it. And there was a hint that there would be a sequel, but there was never a sequel, because this movie bombed, and it didn't deserve a sequel. It didn't need a sequel. I'm almost mildly curious to see what they would have done with it, but it's like, what? They go to school and they now talk now? That's probably what would have happened. They would have learned to talk, and they would be, in a suburban home next door to Eric and his family. Ugh, that would just be awful. Oh, God. That has a bad sitcom written all over it. I'm glad that didn't happen. Anyways, until next time.